It's common knowledge in property management that we spend a lot of our time on two major things. One is rent collection and the other is hot, cold calls. So it's kind of a joke. It's always too hot or too cold in the office. Everybody knows that. So it's getting money and dealing with hot, cold calls. So that being said, look, it is a primary role for us to collect rent. Your larger buildings have a on-site management office and a dedicated on-site management staff. Not only is that just beneficial to the services of the building, but it's also beneficial in the fact that they are there. So, you need to chase down some rent, they're there. They can go knock on the tenant's door, communicate. But I think what it really lends itself to is the development of a relationship with the tenant and the person that's paying the tenant's bills. So that if there's an issue, if you've developed a relationship because you are proactively building that with the tenant, you're on site, you see them, you proactively pop in and say hi for no reason at all. You bring them coffee, take them to lunch. All of our managers commit to a proactive tenant relations schedule that isn't just about an ice cream social in the summer. It's a very separate. And what we've found happens is when we've got a tenant that has a problem and they haven't paid their rent, our assistant manager can call them up and say, hey, so-and-so, hey, what's going on? I noticed you haven't paid your rent. You're not typically late. And open a dialogue. Maybe there is a tenant that's in trouble and they're like, you know what, we're actually having some problems. And we can say, okay, well, let's figure out what you can pay now, what's coming down the pipeline, create a plan so that we can get them to a place over a month or two where they're caught up, where they're paying their rent. And look, we all just want to get all the rent right away. But the idea of just slap with a late fee, slap them with a notice or a default letter doesn't lend itself to a collaboration that will keep the tenant there, because a lot of those times are peaks and valleys. So it doesn't last that long. And you just have to work together as a team to get them through it, keep some money coming into the building, get them caught up. And then the next piece of that is it's the second most important piece, is being able to communicate that to ownership so that they're on the same page too, being able to say, this is what's going on. Here's the nuances around it. I think we can get this done like this. So if you're just trying to collect checks and slap people with notices, that's great, but it's often not as effective. And you might end up trying to evict a tenant that if you just hung around and come up with a plan with them, you could have kept them in there and continued that revenue stream.